Someone has said, and I think rightfully so, that family life is both exhilarating and exasperating. That living in the family produces some of life's greatest joys, but also some of life's deepest frustrations. And the reason family life can be so exasperating, so frustrating, is that we're all imperfect. We're all flawed. There are no perfect husbands. There are no perfect wives. There are no perfect children. There are no perfect parents. There are no perfect siblings. There are not even any perfect grandparents, believe it or not. The family is imperfect because we're imperfect. But even amidst that imperfection, there can be happy and healthy families. And so what I want to do this morning is share with you 4 attributes of a happy and healthy family. And these aren't the only attributes by any means, but they are, I think, key attributes for your family being happy and your family being healthy. First of all, this: mothers are properly appreciated. In the happy and healthy family, mothers are properly appreciated. I came across some time ago a piece by a Sunday school teacher of second graders. And one Mother's Day, this Sunday school teacher asked the children to respond to a series of questions about mothers. Let me share a portion of it with you. Why did God make mothers? Now, these are second graders. Why did God make mothers? She is the only one who knows where the Scotch tape is. What ingredients are mothers made of? God makes mothers out of clouds and angel hair and everything nice in the world and one dab of mean. Why did God give your mother and not some other mom? God knew she likes me a lot more than other people's moms like me. Who's the boss at your house? My mom. You can tell by room inspection. She sees the stuff under the bed. What's the difference between moms and dads? Moms know how to talk to teachers without scaring them. That's on target. And moms have magic. They make you feel better without medicine. What does your mother do in her spare time? Mothers don't do spare time. To hear her tell it, she pays bills all day long. If you could change one thing about your mom, what would it be? I would like for her to get rid of those invisible eyes in the back of her head. Well, humor aside, let me tell you why I think we need to properly celebrate mothers. Not just once a year, not just on an annual holiday, but continuously. First of all, no one loves like a mother. A mom is the closest thing outside of God to unconditional love. Secondly, no one encourages like a mother. There is not a one of us in this sanctuary who would dare say, I think, that the number one encourager in our life almost certainly has been and maybe now is our mother. Thirdly, mothers are tuned in to our ups and our downs. Listen, husbands and fathers, you might as well drop it when you tell your wife, their mother, to quit worrying about the children. It's useless because a mom is going to worry about her children. She is going to worry about their ups and their downs. And fourthly, a mom is ever committed to the primary well-being of the child. No one loves like a mother. No one encourages like a mother. No one is more attuned to the ups and downs of a child's life than a mother. And no one is more committed to the well-being of a child than a mother. I'm a father. I'm a husband. And I'm a grandfather. And I still believe this about mothers. There's a wonderful song by the group Lady Antebellum. It's a song of a mother to a child. And it voices all of this love, all of this encouragement, all of this devotion. May the angels protect you, trouble neglect you, and heaven accept you when it's time to go home. May you always have plenty, your glass never empty, and know in your belly you're never alone. May you win and stay humble, smile more than grumble, and know when you stumble you're never alone. Never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. My love will follow you, stay with you, you're never alone. When hard times have found you and your fears surround you, wrap my love around you, you're never alone, never alone, never alone. I'll be in every beat of your heart when you face the unknown. Wherever you fly, this isn't goodbye. My love will follow you, stay with you, never alone. When we have the encouragement and the love and the devotion of a mother, no matter what life brings, we are not alone. Second thing, in the happy and healthy home, listening is taken seriously. Now, there is a difference, and you know this, between hearing and listening. I can hear you without listening to you. And you can hear me without listening to me. And the fact is, sadly, unfortunately, in many a home, there's a lot of talking and a lot of hearing, but not necessarily a lot of listening. One family therapist says there are 5 elements in effective listening within the home. Listen to this. Desire to show the other that he or she matters. You really want to show that spouse, that child, that parent, that sibling, that grandparent, that you really do love them, listen to them. I can tell my wife all day long that I love her, but one of the primary ways that I show my wife I love her is by listening to her, because listening to her tells her that she matters to me. Second thing, a commitment to tune in and not be distracted. I mean, let's face it. Let's face it. Husbands, wives, parents, children, we're going in 90 miles an hour. We're going in all kinds of directions. And we are so easily distracted from time with one another. And there cannot be listening if I'm constantly distracted by something else. From a family therapist. Third thing, a willingness to wait and receive before responding. That's a good one. Because the average one of us can't wait to get our 2 bits in. When I'm listening to my wife, I'm a full human being, and many a time my mind is whirring with the things I need to say back. That's not listening. That's not listening. Fourth thing, a commitment to setting aside the needed time for active conversation. And the fifth thing, active attention to the other person. Now, this family therapist goes on to say there are 3 major impediments to real listening. First of all, it's our unchecked, rushed schedules, which correlates, secondly, into us squeezing our conversations into the gaps, right? Our family conversations occur in the gaps. We fulfill every other part of our schedule. Again, we rush here, we rush there, we check this off, we go do this as families, and we squeeze family conversation into the gaps. And so the reason we're not listening to one another is we're not setting aside the time to really be able to listen to one another, because we are rushing here, rushing there, putting our conversations into the gaps, and thus, thirdly, not really directing our attention to one another. Another family therapist says it's real simple. Stop, look, and listen. I like that. If you love that person and they need to tell you something, Richard Smith included, it's simple. Stop what you're doing, look at the person, and listen to them. We would have a lot healthier families if more of us paid attention to serious listening. Third thing, in the happy and healthy family, parents understand that our children are watching us and they're from us. In the happy and healthy family, we parents, even we grandparents, understand our children are watching us and they're learning from us. I've told the wonderful story before about the father who picked his elementary-age son up from school and put him into his booster seat and began to run a series of errands. And he told his wife, told the mother they would be home in a certain time. And so he was trying to get these particular errands done before he went home with their little boy. And so he's rushing to this errand and from that errand to this errand and from this errand. And as he got behind in the schedule, he would speed up a bit. And pretty soon, while running all these errands, he was clearly speeding. And then he sees the whirring blue lights in the mirror. He gets pulled over by the policeman, begins to roll down his window, and just as the policeman walks to the car, to the window, as the man has lowered the window, the boy sitting in the back says, "Daddy, is this the idiot you were talking about?" I'm going to tell you something. I really don't need to tell you. They're paying attention. And they're listening, our children, and they're learning from us. One another, listening, and they're learning. So let me tell you 7 things I believe our children learn from us. First of all, how to treat other people. Secondly, whether or not to be truthful. Thirdly, how to handle disappointment. Fourth, accept shortcomings and do better. 5, whether we are in this life to be served or to serve. 6, handle disagreement with maturity. 7, intellectual matters hold in our lives. Here's what I'm saying. Your children and my children learn to treat other people by watching us. Your children and my children learn whether to be truthful or not by listening to us. Your children and my children will handle disappointment or capitulate to disappointment from us. Your children and my children learn how to deal with the things of their lives, listening to and watching us. Your children and my children learn whether we're in this life to be served or to serve from us. Your children and my children learn how to disagree by watching us and listening to us. And your children and my children place spiritual things at a particular place in their lives based on us. And that may be the most important thing of all. Where spirituality is in the life of your children and my children, to a large extent, is defined by what they learned and from me. Finally, this. In the happy and healthy home, love is truly practiced. You know as well as I do that love is more than an emotion. Someone has said that love is more a matter of the will than is the heart. We tend to think of love as emotion, as feeling, as being of the heart, when the truth is love is a matter of the will. I like the way one thinker puts it. The truth is that love is a matter of our will. Real love is hard work. Romantic love can stir the heart, but where there is no effort at living the practices of love, romantic love will dim and die out. Words of love spoken to a spouse, to a child, to a member, to a friend are endearing and can be inspiring. But where the practices of love are not practiced, the words prove hollow and soon lose their power. In the end, it's living the practices of love that sustains love. So what are the practices of love? Well, Paul laid out beautifully. He said, love is patient. Love is kind. Not envy. It's humble. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. Love doesn't keep a list of mistakes. Love protects, always trusts, always perseveres. Here's what that means. If you've got a problem with patience in the family, then you need to work on it. Be patient. If you've got a problem believing that the family ought to go your way, and all the decisions ought to be the way you want those decisions to be made, you need to work on it. Love is not arrogant. It's humble. If you have a problem being kind in the family, because love is kind. If you have a problem focusing more on yourself than the needs of your spouse or the needs of the family, then you need to work on it. Because love is self-giving. I can tell my wife again all day long, and my children, now 32 and 24, all day long, that I love them. But where I'm not patient and don't work on my impatience, where things to go my way, on humility, where I believe it's all about me and I'm not self-giving, I've sent the message. We work on the things in our lives and our families that need changing. Love and be real. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful. It is not arrogant. It is not rude. It does not seek its own. It is self-giving. But it's only that when we so family life can drive you crazy, right? It can be a real pain. It can also be one of the greatest joys of our life. And our families, your family, my family, can be healthy and it can be happy if we'll celebrate and appreciate mothers. If we'll really listen, stop, look, and listen. If we'll pay attention to the fact that children are learning from us, one way or the other. And if we'll practice love, really, really practice love, not just talk love. Thanks be to God.